Okay, the records are now open. Okay, this is interesting. You're actually not starseed at all, but you're probably even better than that because your soul's. I'm picking up a very angelic energy about your soul, and I'm going to check and see where your soul originated from in the universe, in the galaxy. Um, but I'm getting a lot of angelic energy with you. Okay, so some of my folks that I do readings for are not necessarily starseeds. They're either higher level humanoids. I'm not getting that with you. I'm actually getting angelic and most likely galactic angelic. Okay, so yeah, so it's a little bit of a different category, but it's not any less important or any less special than a star seed or anything like that. So and I carry quite a bit of angelic qualities myself, so you and I probably have some similarities, with that. So okay, so I'm picking up. Okay. Did you ever get a one of those galactic astrology charts done by Graham Forscott? No. Okay.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Oh, okay. No, I'm just curious. I was just curious what you saw in that because I'm getting kind of origination point is galactic center. Okay, so that's just outside of this this solar system.
Okay.
But I'm getting that your energies were predominantly more feminine oriented. What I mean by that is when source first split itself off, it split itself into masculine and feminine energies, and I'm seeing your soul in that group consciousness that was assigned to Mother God as opposed to Father God. Okay.
Okay.
So so what that means is you have more of a nurturing, kind of a kind of a yin quality to your soul, which is actually quite good. It's because a lot of us, we have kind of different soul signatures. Some of us are androgynous, some of us are more feminine, some of us are more masculine. You have definitely a more feminine energy to your soul. And it's not surprising that you chose to incarnate as a Cancer. Okay, so yeah, because Cancers are the most nurturing, loving, kind of motherly sign. However, this doesn't mean that you're like a Earth Mother or or you're going to be the kind of person that'll have a bunch of babies. It's not like that. It's more that you have that kind of soft, loving, compassionate quality to your soul. So it's no surprise that you chose to be an angelic, because that's what angels do. They're compassionate. They take care of others. They're guides for other beings. I'm seeing that your assignment as an angel, when you were first in angelic form, was to take after kind of what they would call the secondary souls, which was the souls that were not starseed or human, but were animal souls. Okay. Yeah. So throughout your different incarnations as an angelic, no matter what part of the galaxy or universe you were assigned to, you were predominantly taking care of the animals. And because And you volunteered for this because you felt like the animals weren't being well represented. Okay, so I'm getting I'm getting that you felt like, you know, there was a lot of attention being, you know, given to kind of what they call the higher dimensional souls, but not enough attention was being given to the support souls, you know, the ones that were. And you know, I hate to call animal. You know, I know the law of one says that animals are second dimensional. I don't agree with that. I mean, that's just my own, I guess, my own viewpoint. Or I think animals are actually very high consciousness, but they have a different application. You know, so you know, maybe, you know, their consciousness is not quite at the level of human, or say a star being, or an angelic, but they still have a conscious. They're still sentient beings, and I know you know that. You know, you definitely know that from the work that you do. So yeah, you know, so what I'm getting is, initially you started off at Galactic Center. Galactic Center is a point in our galaxy. It's actually located very close to the Sagittarius constellation, and very close to Aquila, the Eagle constellation. It's kind of in that general, kind of close to Scorpio. I mean, it's not. I think it's closer to Sagittarius, but there, you know, it's kind of located there, fairly close. Oh, I thought I lost you there for a while, but so kind of close to Scorpio. But I'm getting that you were initially, as an angelic being, assigned to different star systems. And so you weren't incarnating into lower dimensional form. You were just assigned to assist in different star systems. So the star system I'm seeing where you were first assigned to was the star system Sirius. Okay, and Sirius is known as of course, the dog constellation, or it's a dog star. It's in the Canis Major. So it's like, okay, yeah, that would make sense. You would be assigned to Sirius, you know, but Sirius is kind of an interesting place because the Sirian planets are very watery, and I'm seeing that you were assigned to assist the cetacean beings that were on board, you know, incarnated into these planets. So that was the dolphins and the whales and the amphibian beings, and I think there was dogs there too, maybe on the land, but a lot of our dolphins and our whales actually originated from Sirius. Okay, so I'm seeing that you were working with these beautiful beings, and it was a very wonderful assignment. You enjoyed working because they were very, very high consciousness beings, and you were just there to assist them, you know, just to help them integrate themselves into their planets. And this was like very beginning of time. So the other thing this is showing me is that your soul is very ancient. I mean, you have an ancient soul. I mean, you know, you look very young, but you have this ancient kind of a, not ancient in the sense of Elohim or, you know, founders, but more like a angelic elemental type of being that assisted, you know, I think other life forms. Okay, so so you were assigned to Sirius, and this was around the time when the Lyran refugees were first arriving on Sirius. So this was pretty way back. Okay, so this was even before Sirius really developed their own civilization. and you were just kind of there helping these indigenous species kind of acclimate to the influx of humanoid beings that were coming on their planets, and kind of you're kind of like you worked between both, the humanoids and the animals, but you were representing the animals. Okay, so so from this, I'm seeing a kind of a role where you were. How can I verbalize this? Where you were kind of like a guide for the animals. So yeah,
okay.
so and you kind of was a translator as well. So now what I'm picking up about one of the gifts that you have right now is you're able to speak telepathically to animals. It's real easy for you, and.
Yeah.
I mean, you do it all the time anyway, but, and I think it's easier for you with animals than it is with humans, but you can do it with humans that are, I guess, open to it. But like you, I've been trying to speak telepathically with humans. And so far, the only response I get is from my cat, so she's the only one that picks up on it. No one else picks up on it. I'm like, darn it, they're not quite there yet. But I'm guessing with your job, you probably speak telepathically with animals all the time. And I think they like. I'm getting that you're very, very good at what you do. I mean, you're. I would imagine that you're probably a valuable, very valuable employee where you're at. I mean, they probably really appreciate you. If they don't, they should. But I'm getting that the animals are so happy to have you there. I mean, they really respond well to you, and. They feel like you kind of, unlike maybe some other individuals where you work, you can get down to their level, and they appreciate that. They feel like they can communicate with you more so what's going on with them than say, one of those, maybe the vet or or the others in your workplace, that are working with the animals. But that's what you were doing on Sirius, is you were, kind of a translator for these beings who weren't really able to communicate at first with these humanoids that were arriving, that were traumatized, they're arriving at their, in their new planet home. And so from there, and I'm seeing you had several like assignments in Sirius. You kind of bounced between Sirius A and Sirius B. I think a lot of your aquatic humanoids were more on Sirius B, and you were also translating for those groups as well, and assisting them as needed. And then I'm seeing that you've had some other assignments also in other star systems. You spent quite a bit of time in the Pleiades too. So I don't know if you feel a connection with the Pleiades, but I do see a connection. And the Pleiades was, the planets there were a little more like what we would find on Earth, or in this, so they were a little more. They had more of a variety of different animal types, so you had more exposure to now I'm getting kind of tracked back into Sirius. I'm also getting that you did quite a bit of work with the Syrian feline beings, because they were also refugees from the Lyran system, and they most of them ended up I think immigrating to Sirius. So what I'm getting is that you were assisting them in healing because they were also traumatized, from what happened to them. So you had some pretty important assignments. You know, I mean, they were, you know, pretty. I would say, yeah, they were pretty important. They had a huge impact. Now, because of your exposure to Sirius, not in your first few lives there, but or during your latter assignments there, you were actually getting more trained in physical healing because the Syrian mystery schools were located. The Syrian mystery schools were located in Sirius, and so even though you were an angelic, you decided to also become a student, and so you were studying, you know, physical healing, but again, your focus was more on working with animals rather than with humanoids. Even though, you know, I think you've assisted humanoids here and there, but I'm not getting that was your main, you know, group of focus. You spent after those incarnations, you incarnated as an angelic being, and again, you were higher dimensional, so you weren't really in a physical body. Okay. Yeah, you were in a light body, you know, so you were able to manifest kind of a humanoid shape, but it was a light form. Okay. So the animals were able to see you quite easily, but the humanoid groups not so much, you know, depending on how vibrational they were. So but the animals were always able to see you, and so you had some lives in the Pleiades. I'm not getting anything in Orion, nothing in Arcturus, nothing in Andromeda. Let me check some other star systems. Okay, I do get Alpha Centauri. Okay. That was one of your assignments. I think you spent, one kind of incarnation assisting Alpha Centauri. And Alpha Centauri is a star system that's located very close to Earth. It's probably the closest one to Earth. And they think that Alpha Centauri has some inhabitable planets. Well, yeah, they do. Yeah, but... and feel free to ask me questions if you have any questions about anything, because
you're giving me good information. I'm just listening.
Okay, good. I want to make sure that I'm giving you opportunity to ask questions if you need it.
No, you're doing great.
Okay, so you were assigned to Alpha Centauri, and also Tau Ceti. Interesting. Okay. Tau Ceti is another star system that's located very close to Earth, and the Tau Cetians were they were a little bit stockier than like your Pleiadians and humans. They were humanoid looking, but they were more muscular as far as the humanoid groups. But again, I'm getting that you weren't assigned to the Tau Cetians. You were assigned to the other race on Tau Ceti, which was the bear race, which is interesting. Yeah, there's a bear race on. They're kind of like they're bears, but they look kind of like big Wookiees. Okay. But they stand on they're kind of bipedal. They stand on their two legs, and they have, I guess, they look like Wookiees. Okay. There's a bear race on Tau Ceti. And so you weren't assigned to the humanoids, you were assigned to guide the bear races. And that was interesting, because this is the first time this has come up, okay? So I'm just going to roll with it. So, and I've actually did some remote viewing on Tau Ceti, and I saw what these beings look like, and they're awesome. They look, I don't know, they're just... they look like Wookiee from Star Wars. And I'm just kind of like, okay, what are these interesting looking creatures, and but they're a bear race, and they kind of coexist with the Tau Ceti humanoid races, and they're also they're very technical. They can do a lot of the things the humans do. They are very good navigators and pilots. Okay. Yeah. And so are the Tau Cetians, but the bear people are also very good. And so you were protecting them on their different missions, because they were actually their mission for a while was to stop the gray aliens from abducting people. This is kind of a little bit of the history of Tau Ceti, and this is interesting because this is the part that you kind of played in a little bit, but for a while there, the gray aliens from Zeta Reticuli were abducting the children of the Tau Cetians, and they were abducting mostly the humanoid kids, but some of the ones that were being abducted were the bear kids too. Okay, so, and they were doing that to kind of strengthen their own genetics, so that's what they were trying to do. That I don't know if they were killing the kids or just kind of doing experiments on them, but I think some of them they were actually killing. So of course the Tau Cetians were getting pretty pissed off and tired of their kids being abducted, so they went out on all full out war against the gray aliens. Now, the gray aliens were not acting within universal law. Okay, it was not their right to instill their will onto beings that did not agree to be abducted. Okay, so on whatever level that they were agreeing to be abducted. So the thing that I'm seeing is that the bear people were looking for help, and so they sent a message to Galactic Center, and so you were in between assignments, and they said, okay, you're the animal expert, we're sending you. So they sent you, and because it was like you were like the perfect choice, and you were done with the Pleiades and with Alpha Centauri. So actually, I'm not getting as far as Earth incarnations. I'm getting very, very few Earth incarnations for you. Okay. I'm getting the sense with you that you don't feel very comfortable in your human form at all. No. Yeah, and that's pretty common with angelics and with higher dimensional starseeds, that are from, say, Arcturus or Andromeda. We have a tendency to struggle more with our health because our genetics are not a good fit for our human bodies, Yeah. So I'm getting with you that, you've always been in angelic form in your previous incarnations. And what I'm getting is I'm not getting any Earth incarnations other than this one.
Okay.
Yeah, so which is interesting because I think you've had even fewer Earth incarnations than I did, and I had 5. Okay, which is not very many. You had 1, so this is the one that you're in. And I'm trying to, I guess I'm trying to check in to see why you would choose to incarnate as human, because to go from angelic form to human is a big leap down. Okay, so I'm going to check in on that, because even when you were assigned to Tau Ceti, you were still in angelic, body form. So what I'm getting as far as your human incarnation is that there was, I think initially you were going to be assigned as an angelic, but there was a change of plans. What they're showing me is that Galactic Center said, you need to be in the trenches and you need to know what's going on down there. And as an angelic, of course, being in light form, it would be difficult for you to really know, because Earth was so low vibrational compared to Tau Ceti, Alpha Centauri, Pleiades, Sirius, that there was no way you would have any interaction, with what's going on here in the light form that you're normally in. So they gave you the opportunity to either, because you wanted to assist with the Earth during this particular timeline with the Earth shift, and because a lot of us were called to assist, and from the other dimensions and timelines. And what I'm getting with you is you volunteered, but they said, okay, if you volunteer as an angelic, you'll have to incarnate into human form. And you were not real happy about it. but you were like, okay, because I want to assist and I feel this call to assist Earth. And, you've heard your Tau Ceti friends talk about Earth, what the Earth was struggling, and they were trying to assist Earth as well. Alpha Centauri was also trying to assist Earth. And so you kind of was building up, you felt this compassion. You're a very compassionate soul, okay? So you felt this deep compassion, for what was, how animals are being impacted here in this planet. You've always worked for good. You were an angelic being. You were more at the galactic level rather than at the solar system. I'm getting that you did a report to a kind of a council of angelics in Galactic Center, and those angelic beings were, I think, they were led by, I want to say, Archangel Raphael. Yeah. So that's like one of your mentors is Archangel and one of your guides is Archangel Raphael. Also Archangel Ariel is another one of your guides. And I'm seeing mostly angelic guides for you. I'm also seeing some seraphim beings, that are even beyond Archangel and cherubims. I don't really know their names. And I can't even really pronounce their names. So, I think as you connect more with your angelic, I guess ancestors or your angelic kin, you'll probably start getting some downloads from them on who these individuals are. But I do see mostly angelic guides. I do see with you have a Syrian dolphin guide.
Oh my gosh, that is funny.
Why is that?
It's so funny you said that. No, because I had a dream about a month ago. I've been having a really hard time lately, and I had this dream and it was so clear. And in the dream, I was by the ocean. And I coupled out, and these dolphins came to me. But one in particular swam around me, and it had big, bright blue eyes. And I just felt like I knew it. I knew this dolphin. So it's really funny that you say that, because I've had a dream about it.
Yeah, that's your dolphin guide. Yeah, I see him too, and. It's a beautiful dolphin. It has like turquoise. He kind of radiates turquoise and pink, kind of a shimmery kind of light coming from him.
Yeah.
And those dolphins were the ones that you were assisting on Sirius, and they love you. And they're telling me right now that they miss you and they want you to come back. But But for right now, they know that you have an assignment on Earth, and they're there to support you no matter what. So
Okay.
yeah, so that's why you had that dream. That's so awesome. And the other thing I'm picking up too is, oh yeah, you have the Wookiees on your side. The Talsedian bear people, they love you too. You help them get some of their children back from the gray aliens.
Okay.
So they have this deep, immense love for you, and so you have one of the bear people that is also one of your guides. Okay. So do you feel a connection with bears at all, or?
I guess I haven't had much interaction with them.
Mm-hmm.
But just like with any animal, I feel like I see them and I'm in awe just of their size and power. But I haven't had a whole lot of interaction with bears here, no.
Okay, but just probably the ones on Talsedi, probably.
Yeah.
But and the ones on Talsedi, they're more like humanoid bears. They're they stand on their 2 feet. I mean, they seem to have better motor skills. They kind of, I mean, they're kind of gruff and they're hairy, but but they have, I think, a lot more humanoid features than the bears that you would find here on Earth. They're walking on all fours and or just trying to look for honey, or whatever it is. So they're a little more, I think, evolved than bears here, but they're sending this immense love towards you. I mean, they just like the dolphin beings from Sirius. So you have really great guides. I mean, you have wonderful guides. They're just magical. I mean, the angelic guides, oh my gosh, they're just blowing me away. They're blowing me away, honestly, because I can see what they look like, and they're just magnificent, and they know the sacrifice you had to make to be in this form. And it was a huge sacrifice. I mean, they have a lot of admiration for you, for what you're doing, because you're the one that chose to get down in the trenches and work with the rest of us starseeds and, lightworkers and whatever, that are down here trying to do this work. Yeah. Now, I do see that your soul's mission, at least here in this incarnation, is to be of support to the animal souls, and it's been your soul mission throughout the beginning of time, and it will probably continue to be your soul mission for quite a while, because I do see you getting another assignment in the future, for to assist with New Earth. Because Earth is going to go through some radical shifts as it, transitions into higher dimensions. And the animals especially, there's going to be some that will likely be leaving the Earth plane. And I do see that you will, I think, be guiding those groups of animals to their new homes. And I think in the next few years, we're going to see some animal groups just completely die off. Yeah. And unfortunately, that's just, I think the reality of what we're going through with this transition. But it doesn't mean that they're totally gone. It means that they are transitioning to other dimensions and other timelines. So I do see that part of your role in I would say, in between this life and the next life will be to help these animals transition to their new homes. So there'll be, I think, quite a few groups from Africa They're saying, some from, kind of the northern parts of the world, like Siberia and Antarctica, and well, Antarctica's in the south, but North Pole, and so there's going to be, I think, mass extinctions going on, unfortunately, and that will be your transitional role while you're waiting for New Earth to come on board. Okay, so now I do see that you'll get an assignment to New Earth. I'm not seeing very clearly if you're going to come in as human again in that lifetime or as angelic. I'm getting more of a higher probability that you may incarnate as human, but fifth dimensional human. Okay. So you'll have a higher level body form that will be more crystalline and a little more compatible with your angelic DNA. So it won't be quite as difficult as, the form that you're in right now. That it's this carbon-based form is very difficult for higher dimensional souls. It's I struggle in mine too. Believe me, I do not. I'm just like I'm kind of done with I'm kind of done with this dense form. I mean, it's not that I don't love humans. I don't love the human form. It's just that me and being in human form, not a good match. So yeah. And I get the sense that you probably feel the same way. So now getting okay, I'm getting another angelic being that's going to be assisting you on your path, and I'm not sure if this is somebody you're going to have a romantic involvement with, or are you married right now, or?
No, I do have a boyfriend, but no, I'm not married.
Okay, I don't know if this is the current boyfriend or if this is going to be a future boyfriend, or but I'm getting male energy, somebody that will. Now, is your current boyfriend, are you pretty close with him, or?
To a certain extent, yes.
Yeah, but not quite at the spiritual level, maybe?
No.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm getting it's probably going to be someone in your future, but somebody that is also kind of an angelic soul, and there's very few of you guys on the planet, so there's actually fewer and incarnated angelics than there are fewer incarnated Arcturians or Andromedans, and we're kind of rare too, but but I'm getting that he's going to be and he might be somebody that you'll meet through your work, or maybe on some humanitarian project with animals that you'll be doing, some animal activist project. I'm getting a lot of my angelics are activists, and most of them are animal activists, interestingly enough. So others of them are activists for the environment.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're one of the animal activists. So you're here to represent the interests and the concerns of animals. And I see you're actually, even though you're a veterinarian tech right now, I see you getting involved with bigger projects in the future, in this incarnation, where I think you'll be playing a key role into maybe creating, maybe some precedents for animal rights, animals to be represented as sentient beings. And because I don't know about you, but I get, well, actually you probably feel this even more than I do, but I get really angry the animals are so mistreated, and there's no repercussions, it's just or very, very little repercussions, and they're here to play a big part. They've been our support souls, for millennia, and they've never received the respect that they deserve. Now, I think that's shifting. I do see some positive changes, but it seems like it's too little and too slow, So I see you, getting involved with some groups that maybe can help change some laws around that, or set some new precedences for, animals to get the justice and, the respect that they deserve. There are certain countries here on this planet, I think India is one of them, where they recognize some animal groups as sentient beings. I see you kind of spearheading that in the United States. So that's mainly what you came to do, is to be kind of a spokesperson for animals and animal rights. Going to check in on some other things, and then what I'm getting with this individual is that he's also an angelic, and he's going to be assisting you with these projects. And there's going to be a romantic, involvement there, because you guys need to support each other. So he'll be cute and everything. So I'm getting somebody with dark hair for some reason. I don't know if that's normally your type, but yeah, I'm getting somebody with dark hair, taller. He has a very sweet face. He's not like I would call super handsome, but he's cute. He's got, very sweet features, just very, very kindly eyes. And I do see that he's going to be helping you out, because right now I think the other thing I'm picking up from your guys is that you feel very alone right now. You feel like, you have friends and you have family, but I think as far as that deeper soul connection, you've always felt very apart from mostly everybody around you. And that's not only a starseed thing, it's very much an angelic thing, because you're just struggling with, you're kind of like up here and then everybody's over here, and it's just like, okay, and you're thinking, much broader level, because you have this massive angelic consciousness. Even though you're trying to fit it all in your little human body, but you have this massive angelic consciousness, and everybody else is kind of operating in 3D, and it's so frustrating for you. And that's what your guides are showing me, and they're saying that, just kind of, they say not to worry about the humans, just to be focused on the animals, and don't worry about what humans are doing or thinking, because that's not your assignment. Yours. And actually, even with me, I interestingly enough, I did for 6 years I did volunteer work as an animal assisted therapy team with my cat and Piglet. But she was the most awesomest. She was one of only 4 cats that was registered as a therapy animal in the state of Colorado. And she actually became, she was so good at what she did that she actually became, I think, the only feline American Red Cross volunteer in the United States. So yeah, so she's just super awesome. And I feel like sometimes, like, even though I came here to assist other starseeds and lightworkers and angelics, I feel more connected with animals, as far as on the consciousness level, animals and children, than I do with, your basic adults, unless they're starseed or, you know what I'm saying, so, yeah. So, now, do you have any groups in Michigan where that you can get together with people that are more spiritually oriented, or is it kind
I'm
of...
sure there's a way I can find some, yeah.
Yeah, because your guides are saying that you need to get involved with some of those kind of groups just to feel some connectedness. And I'm guessing maybe you might want to check Meetup, or,
Okay.
because they're saying that you feel, pretty isolated sometimes. That
Yeah.
Especially in Michigan, I think I don't know what part of Michigan you're in, but I think some parts of Michigan are better than others, but...
I'm in West Michigan. I'm probably, you know where Grand Rapids is?
Oh, yeah, okay.
I'm right around that area.
Okay, gotcha, okay. That's probably better than, say, Detroit, or... My ex-husband was from Detroit. I know Detroit. Yeah, it was interesting place. Not very high vibrational. Not very. The only part I liked about Detroit was Motown. Motown was awesome. Everything else about Detroit they can keep, But
That's funny.
yeah, but no, I did like Motown. Motown was pretty cool. So
Yeah.
Grand Rapids, I heard, is really pretty. So
It is.
yeah,
The river is gorgeous.
yeah, very, very nice area. And there's parts of Michigan that are very high vibrational, especially around the lakes, and
Okay.
yeah, they're very, very high vibrational places. It's just yeah, Michigan's kind of interesting. It's kind of got like a mix of very low vibrations and very high vibrations.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have about 15 minutes left. So I just wondering if you have any questions, or
Is there any guidance on which way I should go with my job?
okay. I'm seeing that you're almost too gifted for your job. You're just I'm getting that you're feeling very kind of stagnant in what your capabilities are.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if there's I don't see you becoming a veterinarian, even though I think that opportunity is available to you. But is there any way you could increase your training without going back to veterinary school, or...
I just don't know what I'd increase my training in.
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time deciding whether I want to stay in the veterinary field or not in general.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm seeing that if you do decide to stay, that you're probably going to have to move on and get additional training, which probably means veterinary school. And I don't know if you want to. I don't know if you want to do that level of commitment, because it's a huge commitment. It's a huge monetary commitment. And you're still pretty young, So I think you're. It's not, you have time on your side, but what your guides are saying, that if you stay in the veterinary field, you're going to have to increase your skill sets, because otherwise you'll start feeling very stagnant.
Okay.
And it's too bad they don't have a nurse, a veterinary nurse practitioner position, where you could get that kind of, additional skill sets. It's almost like you're either a vet tech or you're a veterinarian. There's no, there's no in between. It's just kind of whereas in the human medical field, you have nurse practitioners, you have what they call it, physician's assistants. You have you have all these varying levels of fields that you can get additional training on. I just see that your skill sets are so great. You're just going to start feeling very frustrated staying as a vet tech.
I'm already there.
Yeah. It's very, very frustrating. So if you stay in the field, you would have to pretty much almost go back to or apply to vet school.
Okay.
And I do see that you'll do well, because you have even though you're very compassionate, I think you have a very you're very intelligent, and you have this very keen intellect where you can pick things up really easily, and you're not going to get bothered so much by all the dissections and stuff you're probably going to have to do. That's probably the worst part of it, but
Yeah.
it's but you know, it's just like a means to an end. So so you'll be able to manage that okay, better than some of my other animal folks. But if you don't choose to go into veterinary school, then I see you probably working as in some form of some other realms with animals, maybe like with the zoos, or animal rescue groups, that kind of thing. But I see you always staying connected with an animal related field. But more, I'm seeing higher probability that most likely you'll decide to go back to veterinary school. And, you'll just, I keep saying going back, you've never been to veterinary school, you've been to vet tech school. But maybe, I think you probably went to veterinary school when you were in Sirius. So, because you were learning how to heal animals in Sirius. So that maybe that's why I keep saying going back. But yeah, I just see you kind of frustrated where you're at, because your role right now is so limited, and you feel like you can't do everything you want to do for animals. And in a lot of ways, you're probably a lot more gifted and in tune with what the animal needs are than even the vets that you work for. And that's kind of frustrating too, when you want to tell them something, but they're like, well, I'm the vet, you're just a vet tech, so I do get, some of that happening with you. I see higher probability applying for vet school. And I've known, actually, I know one gal who actually started off as a vet tech, and she's, I think, on her last year of vet school right now.
Okay.
Yeah, so she's, I see her, she's one of the few that I know that's actually been successful, at doing that. So, it can be done. And she was like you. She was very, very gifted with animals, and just felt frustrated being a vet tech and not having more of a say in their care, and, not being able to do more for them, So she decided to go back to, or to apply for vet school. And I think she's going to be a phenomenal vet, because she's very in tune with animals. I mean, she is, I think, one of the most gifted I know of, that I know as and I don't even think she's angelic like you. So she's actually far from angelic, but I mean, with you and your angelic, capabilities, I mean, you have natural healing gifts anyway, just from the birthright of being an angelic. So you're going to be phenomenal too. So it's just, you're having to decide whether or not you want to make that time and, money commitment, because it's going to, because it wasn't like 5 years or
7.
Oh my God. Oh geez. Yikes. Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah. But I do see you working always with animals. So I do see that you're probably not going to stay as a vet tech. You're kind of at the point where, you feel like you've you've outreached your capacities with that job. So it's time to do something different with that. So any other questions? We have I think maybe a few more minutes left.
I don't think so. You've gone over a lot.
Oh, okay, okay. I just want to make sure I answer everything I need to. But I want to check in more on some of the kind of the future stuff, because that looked really interesting. I'm kind of curious what you're going to be doing on New Earth. So let me check in on that.
Okay.
Because kind of in between, while you're waiting for New Earth to come about, I do see you, it was very clear what you were going to be doing, but I'm kind of wondering what you're going to be doing on New Earth. So I'm going to check in on that. I do see you, you'll have the opportunity, I think, to incarnate as higher level human. Again, you'll be fifth dimensional human, so you'll be in, crystalline form. So it'll be a different, humanoid form, but more of a crystalline body type. So, so you're gonna like that a lot better, believe me. It'll be more, it'll be closer to what you truly are as a light body angel. So, the other thing I'm getting with that timeline, yeah, I just see you. There's going to be new animal groups that are going to be incarnating onto Earth. So it's going to be similar to kind of what was happening with Sirius, or that you're kind of supporting these new animals that are coming on Earth and helping them feel more integrated. So you'll be kind of in a higher human form, but you'll be working some kind of high level job with animals. So you're going to be kind of like a I don't even know if they have a job like that yet here on this, where you're just going to be helping them get integrated, I guess. I don't even know how to describe the job, but it's like whatever it is that, environmentally they need, or, whatever, they need, you're going to help provide that for them. And being crystalline human, you'll be able to do that a lot easier than having to do the 3D role of having to, be in carbon-based form and having things to be so slow here. Things are going to move a lot faster in New Earth. It's almost like in the fifth dimension, you just think of something and it happens, okay?
Okay.
Yeah. Now, these animal groups are not going to be fifth dimensional. They're more fourth dimensional beings, so they won't have the ability to just think of something and have it happen. You're going to be doing that for them, okay?
Okay.
So that's what your role is. So actually, wow, you got... I'm in awe of you, because you did some really awesome, great work in the past, and you're doing awesome, great work in this timeline, and you're going to do even more awesome, great work ahead. So, yeah, so you have, I think, a lot of responsibility on your shoulders, but you're able to manage it because of who you are. And
Well, thank you so much. This has been great.
Oh, I'm glad you liked the reading. And I just need to do the closing prayer and disconnect our energies, and then I'll stop the recording. I would like to thank the masters, teachers, and loved ones for their love and compassion. I would like to thank the lords of the Akashic Records for their point of view. And I would like to thank the Holy Spirit of Light for all knowledge and healing. The records are now closed. Amen. The records are now closed. Amen. The records are now closed. Amen. Your energy goes with you. My energy stays with me. And I thank you so much for allowing me to do this reading for you today.